That morning, the house carried an unusual stillness. I had come back earlier than planned from a business trip that should have kept me away for 3 more days. The canceled flight felt less like an inconvenience, and more like fate pushing me towards something I was meant to uncover. I set my suitcase down in the corner of the living room and sat quietly, letting the silence wrap around me. From the kitchen came faint sounds, soft laughter, hushed voices, the clinking of cups. My chest tightened. She had told me she'd be alone, busy with chores. Yet I clearly heard a man's voice mingling with hers. I didn't move. I let the anger simmer inside, preparing myself for what I already knew was about to unfold. The kitchen door creaked open, and she stepped out holding 2 mugs of coffee. Her eyes froze the instant they found me sitting at the table. The color drained from her face, one cup nearly slipping from her trembling hand. Her lips parted in disbelief. "You're still here?" I didn't answer. My silence carried more weight than words ever could. She placed the cups down quickly, forcing composure, though panic burned in her eyes. Then behind her a shadow shifted, a man adjusting his shirt, startled by my unexpected return. No explanation was needed. The truth was already out. He stumbled through a flimsy excuse, claiming he was just a friend stopping by. Her mouth moved quickly, scrambling for justifications, but nothing could soften the sting of betrayal searing through me. I had trusted her, built everything around us. And here she was inviting another man into our home. Leaning back in my chair, I locked my gaze on her. I didn't even acknowledge him. "I wasn't supposed to be here," I said at last. "But maybe I was meant to see this for myself." My voice was calm, but each word carried the weight of shattered trust. She reached out, insisting it wasn't what it looked like. But her shaking hands told the truth. The man, clearly uncomfortable, muttered something about leaving, then slipped out the back door, abandoning her to face the wreckage they had created. The silence that followed was suffocating. She dropped to her knees before me, tears streaming, pleading for me to believe her. She swore it was a mistake, promised it would never happen again. But the love I once felt had drained away. The woman I thought I knew no longer existed. She had been replaced by someone who chose deceit. I stood and walked past her into the bedroom. She followed, sobbing harder, begging me not to walk away. I calmly opened the closet, pulled out my suitcase, and began to pack. The reality of my actions hit her then. This wasn't an argument. This was the end. "Please," she whispered, clutching at my arm. "Don't do this. I'll change. I'll do anything." Her words rang hollow, like a script she had rehearsed. "Trust doesn't come back with promises," I replied, steady and cold. I turned to her one last time. "You made your choice. Now I'm making mine." She collapsed onto the bed, sobbing uncontrollably. I didn't look back. I kept folding clothes, kept filling the suitcase. By evening I was gone. The house that once felt like a sanctuary now seemed like a cage I had finally escaped. My phone buzzed with her desperate calls and endless messages, but I ignored them. I drove without direction, my heart heavy but strangely lighter than it had been in years. Days became weeks. The divorce papers arrived, and she signed them without protest, perhaps realizing her pleas meant nothing anymore. Friends and family asked what happened, but I gave no details. All I said was, "It's over." That was all anyone needed to hear. The betrayal left its scars, but it also carved strength into me. Slowly, I rebuilt my life, surrounding myself with people who valued honesty and loyalty. The pain dulled with time, replaced by a quiet resolve never to settle for anything less than respect. As for her, I never looked back. The image of her standing frozen in the kitchen, coffee trembling in her hands, whispering those 3 words, "You're still here," was enough to remind me why I walked away. And I never regretted it.